Okay.
Great. Thank you, everybody. I'm a little cobbled because I don't have my computer, so I'm on my phone, which is a little more difficult. But would you please call the roll and establish quorum?
I sure will. And then I'll also read the initial statement, just welcoming that this is a virtual meeting, and all speakers, the board and the staff, if you could please announce your name when you begin to speak. This meeting is being live streamed, and the slide on the screen shows the information on how to join the webinar via Zoom. You can also call into the meeting at 253-215-8782, and the webinar access code is 831-4200-6480. If you're participating by phone, please push *9 to indicate a desire to comment. And if you're joining online through Zoom, please push the raise hand button. Be sure to unmute yourself when it is your turn to speak and voluntarily state your name for the record. So Director Budge. Director Budge.
Here.
And Director Harris.
Here.
Director Howe.
Here.
Director Nguyen. Director Jennings.
Here.
Director Natoli.
Here.
Director Chenier.
Here.
Director Cerna.
Here.
Director Valenzuela.
Here.
Chair Miller is absent, and Vice Chair Kennedy.
Here.
With that, we have a quorum at 9 votes, and this meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District will be cablecast on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T Uverse. Today's meeting will air on Thursday, June 16th at 9 a.m. and Friday, June 17th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14 and webcast at metro14live.saccounty.net and is closed captioned. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/metro14.
Thank you very much. And with that, would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item, please.
Okay, so we have the consent calendar, items 2.1 to 2.13.
Is there any members of the board that have any questions of consent?
I'll move consent. Second.
Okay, I believe that was Director Howell, and who was second?
Chenier.
Chenier, okay, thank you. Is there any members of the public that have any issues, questions on consent?
It looks like Jeffrey Tartagia has his hand up.
Jeffrey?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I believe you're muted.
Try again. Are you here? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 3 questions I have with the consent docket. Number 1 is, once again, it seems like proliferation of personal contracts. There's been discussion about that before. I know you've used it for temporary basis, but it seems like it's an ongoing thing, and the rationale behind it, I would appreciate a better explanation. On dealing with the contract awarding the, should we say, construction dealing with Los Rios, is that going to be low floor at 14 inches, or is it going to be the 8 inches that has generally become the preferred preference? I've just come newly to understand that there's still an additional from 8 inches to get to 14 inches for where the low floor light rail vehicles transpire and work at. And the last comment I'm going to make on through there, what your consent dockets is in regards to, is you don't have in there, but you're talking about Los Rios, but there's nothing in there, and you've rewarded the contract for light rail on the Gold Line going out to Folsom. I'm a little puzzled. Was that something that's missed or were missed? Because looking at with the work order numbers, in this one you have 2, 7, 11, 17. I'm talking right now with reference to item 2.10 in regards to Dos Rios. Just appreciate a little clear explanation about what is actually transpiring here. And of course, lastly, although this is not in this, is I did not hear an answer back about transcript for dealing with the public hearing, because going over the minutes of last meeting, it was not clear that I was trying to get across the intent of Roseville Road. Then when you're only dealing with 100 and 125, when you have well over 300 people around that location. That's my public comment to you.
Thank
I'll
you.
stop.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Henry, do you have response for specifically on the construction at Los Rios as well as the light rail of Folsom?
The Dos Rios station is separate from the Folsom, so we will explain to Jeff later on. That's totally two separate projects.
As far as the low floor, though.
That low floor stuff, we have to get back to him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jeffrey, are you good with that? I will take that as a yes. Okay. Any other members of the public wishing to address any items on consent?
I don't see any other hands raised.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Director Budge,
Yes.
Director Harris,
Aye.
Director Howell,
Yes.
Director DeWin,
Aye.
Director Jennings, Director Jennings? I think you're muted. We'll come back to Director Jennings. Director Natoli?
Aye.
Director Chenier?
Aye.
Director Cerna?
Aye.
Director Valenzuela? Director Jennings?
Yes.
And Chair Miller is absent, and Vice Chair Kennedy.
Aye. Was Director Valenzuela recorded?
Yes, Director Valenzuela? You said yes? Okay. The consent calendar passes with 10 votes.
All right, thank you. Next item, please.
Okay, so now we will start the public hearing, item 5.1. Public hearing and adoption of the fiscal year 2023 operating and capital budgets. Before you are 3 items. A, accept public comments, and B, resolution 2022-06-059, adopt the fiscal year 2023 operating and capital budgets, and C, resolution 2022-06-060, authorizing the filing of the fiscal year 2023 Transportation Development Act claim based on the adopted budget. Jamie Adelman presented this item at the May 9th board meeting, and she's available for any questions this evening.
Thank you. Ms. Edelman.
Hi, good evening. I do not have a presentation for you all tonight. What I went over in May is still the operating budget that we are proposed to move forward tonight for a vote. So if you have any questions, I'm definitely here to answer those. Otherwise, I'll stand by and wait for a vote from the board.
Any questions from the board? Tabitha, you see anybody?
I do not see any hands up. I do see Jeffrey Tartagia's hand up for the public.
Okay, so if there's no questions for the board, then we'll go on to public questions, comments. So Mr. Tartagia.
This is Jeffrey, and my public comment results around 3 things. One, somehow defining, understanding in the past the expense that we just finished up with the I-80 elevator, the total expense of not only the elevators, but the surrounding service. My understanding, is it in the capital budget or somewhere in there, the budget line that's related to the next project, which is the stairwell at I-80, which I believe was previously mentioned and discussed at the last board meeting. Is it in the budget? It was hard to pick out something like that the way the budget is presented. And lastly, again, I've looked at the transcript and I don't see it being activated to record the public comments that are being made for a public hearing. And again, I just refresh and remind that if that's a public hearing, that is a requirement per Robert's Rules of Order, so that you have the exact what's being said, not what is minutes is recorded as being the response. And that's where I'll leave it at for dealing with the effort of this current budget, knowing that I've seen a number of other numbers as well at the MAC meeting. Again, that's my public comment for today. And if I understand, C is dealing with, no, C is not dealing with the transportation options. Thank you. That's where I'll end.
Thank you, Mr. Tartagia. Mr. Lee, do we have a response to Mr. Tartagia regarding the budget and how it impacts the elevators and stairwell issue?
The budget for the further capital improvement for Water Avenue, they are included in the current budget. We will share the detailed, sections with Jeff later.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tartagia, you have our full attention, and it sounds like a lengthy follow-up meeting after this. So thank you. And any other questions from the public?
There's no other hands raised. Jeff Tartagia raised his hand again. I'm not sure if
Jeffrey, I'll give you one more bite at that apple.
I was just wanting to respond since unable to do the unmute last time, raising my hand and affirming the understanding of a further meeting. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And appreciate your continued interest in our SAC-RT. And any other questions from the board? No, I'm seeing nothing from the public.
Chair, I'd be happy to move resolutions B and C.
Second.
Thank you. That was a motion by Director Harris. Who seconded?
Howell.
Powell, that's what I thought. And Howell. Please call the roll.
Okay, for resolutions 2022-06-059 and 2022-06060, Director Budge,
Yes.
Director Harris,
Aye.
Director Howell,
Yes.
Director Nguyen,
Yes.
Director Jennings,
Yes.
Director Natoli,
Aye.
Director Chenier,
Aye.
Director Cerna,
Aye.
Director Valenzuela. Yes. Chair Miller is absent and Vice Chair Kennedy.
Aye.
The resolutions pass with 10 votes.
Thank you. Next item.
So the next item number 6, public addresses the board on matters not on the agenda. I do have 2 written public comments that were submitted for item number 6. Jeff Tartagia was one of them, so I'm not sure if he wants to comment or if he would like his comment read.
Mr. Tartagia, you have the floor. All right, Tabitha, please go forward.
Okay, I was gonna try to hang on. I was having trouble.
I am unmuted now, but I prefer the written comment to be made And then I will add dealing with the, hopefully some of you will have some question about trip cancellations, bus cancellations in there, but I prefer her to read the statement first, please.
Fair enough. Tabitha?
Okay. So from Jeffrey Tartagia, thank you for putting busy shelter 1699 on Route 30 in front of Mercy on J Street back in the system. Thank you for restoring shelter on 16th Street and J Street, also 30 and 38. Thank you for shelter 320 on 51 at 8th Street, just north of Broadway. Thank you for putting bus stop signs, even after removal of bus bench on Broadway opposite Target at Riverside Drive. What other locations need to be reported by drivers? What is the update on the emergency electronic signs upgrade I keep hearing at 29th Street Light Rail? Will transcript feature be used for tonight's public hearing so public comments will be posted by author? Some are aware I was involved with bus incident on 51 where a car pulled out in front of bus. Driver slammed on brakes. I flew out of wheelchair and slammed into pole, breaking my nose. Fire department came, supervisor came. I passed but business card and repeated my name and number. Because my vitals were normal and I did not fall unconscious. Fire department said did I need an ambulance? I said I could get to Sutter emergency room. I went, they cleaned me up. I got x-rays confirming broken nose. Even as known in RT, I was told risk assessment could not read contact information. I am told when incidents on either bus or light rail occur, there is a reporting system. This is the second time that reporting system has had a problem contacting me. Can a review be made and adjustments made in a monthly report established so that does not happen, so this does happen again? How many graduations from Transit Citizen Academy? I have many more, but just like bus cancellations, I need to understand more. Thank you. This is my written comments for Monday's board meeting.
Thank you. Are there others? I believe you said there was another comment.
Yeah, I have another written one. It looks like there's a couple hands up.
Okay.
So the written one I have also from Tara Ursel, who lives in District 5. I am requesting that SAC-RT install seatbelts as an option on primarily freeway traveling vehicles such as the Causeway Connection and the airport bus. I make this request based on personal experience on the Causeway Connection. First, I was on the bus on the evening of December 7, 2021, when a car crashed into the bus. To my knowledge, no one was hurt, but it was near an on-ramp during high traffic, so the impact was mitigated by slower than normal speeds. Second, there have been several times in which the driver had to brake quickly in reaction to something on the freeway, maybe another driver cutting them off. In one case, my backpack flew off the seat and another passenger's cooler flipped over, spilling dry ice everywhere. In other words, the momentum was substantial and the sudden braking could have led to serious injury. In both of the cases, I believe the driver was acting safely and responsibly, but that doesn't guarantee passenger safety when there are other unsafe drivers on the road also traveling at high speeds. I know one of the arguments against seatbelts has been that city buses don't need seatbelts. However, the Causeway Connection clearly travels on a much different type of route than city buses. I strongly urge you to put safety first and add seatbelts to the Causeway Connection and any other buses that mostly travel on the freeway. Thank you for your time and attention to this.
Thank you. Next.
Okay, next we have Paul Asturi has his hand up.
Before Paul speaks up, Henry, both Jeffries and the other member of the public make good points, and I would assume and expect that we will follow up with them appropriately.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Hello?
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello?
Thank you. Thank you, Henry.
York.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Paul Story, and I'd like to address this to Director Lee, the Board of Supervisors, and especially Supervisor Natoli and Supervisor Kennedy. I live down by Florin Road. This is concerning French Road. It's a 1 mile stretch running north and south to Florin Road and south to Gerber Road. Between the middle of this point on French Road to Florin Mall, which is a major bus depot that connects you to light rail and many other buses throughout Sacramento. And I live approximately 4.5 miles from CRC, which is a major connection point for light rail that will take you practically anywhere in Sacramento with transfers, etc. And at CRC, you also are connected to other bus routes, fixed bus routes, and you're also connected to the Gulf RT, Quick RT, and then your RT buses that go to Elk Grove that put you anywhere in Elk Grove. Also, with the light rail, you can get to major hospitals, and also with the Elk Grove buses, you can get to dental, Walmarts, et cetera, and hospital units within Elk Grove. Well, where I live, and there's many people in this area, if you look at the map, District 2 especially, you're going to see that the people here, including myself, are completely cut off to these connections, both at Florin Mall and CRC. It's just not really right. We need a fixed route in this area. And now, that being said, at that part, I'll bring in this area on Elk Grove Florin Road between Gerber Road running south and north to Calvine Road. So that'll be Elk Grove Florin Road going to Calvine and Elk Grove Florin Road from Calvine to Gerber Road. Now, that's a border thing. There is no bus connecting that either to in any way get us to CRC and or any major shopping area on Calvine Road and Elk Grove Florin. That being said, on Florin Mall, there's a Walmart also, a major, and a bank. There's also a 24-hour fitness, which is also on Calvine Road, which cuts the people living here completely off from major shopping centers. Do you see my point that we need a fixed bus route coming through this area to at least connect us to one of the major, either CRC or Florin Mall, to where we can transfer to go to a hospital appointments, dental, or anywhere in Sacramento, and we can get the light rail?
Thank you, Paul. Your time is up. I appreciate your call. Do you have any means of writing down a phone number? Paul?
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I can write down the phone number and get it to him. He's
Okay,
called
Paul,
me. I have his phone number.
If Paul would just contact my office at 916-874-5481, I will set up a meeting with myself as well as James in RT Planning, and we can get into this in more detail, and hopefully I appreciate the constructive comments, and we can get together and talk about some of his ideas. I appreciate that. Thank you, Paul.
Vice Chair Kennedy, this is Director Tolley.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the area that he described in large parts in District 2, Supervisory District, but I know it does touch on the north side of Gerber and south side of Calvine. And it was my understanding, maybe Henry, I know without getting into any great detail, that we were going to work with some of the funding that comes through County Service Area 10, where there are monies to promote rideshare and some of the other information relative to public transit. But I thought we were working with both a service from Elk Grove and with some of the funding would be available to bring some additional service to that area, South Sacramento, Florin, Vineyard. And I guess I'd be curious, I'd be happy to join you, but I don't need to necessarily crash your meeting. But I just wanted to ask Henry, Patrick, real quickly. I thought we were already working on something that would bring some service, and whether it was of Elk Grove Florin Road, it might not be a French road, but to connect some of those areas where folks could actually, as Paul pointed out, make connections to light rail and to other service that's available throughout the region. So,
Thank you,
Henry?
Supervisor. Henry?
We actually is to add the service on two areas. One is to about a year ago to expand the current smart rider service in the Florin Road and Gerber Road, that area. Then last year we add the new smart rider service in the east of the Elk Grove. And apparently what Paul just talking about, he wants to expand those new areas to further, to connect to CRC and other, destinations. And we certainly would like to, discuss among, everybody to say what we can do.
And Superpresident Tully, I would be more than happy to have you join in any meetings. I will loop back and keep you informed on whatever meetings we set up.
okay, sure. You got to be supportive. Okay, thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Henry.
Thanks. Okay. Any others?
I don't see any hands. I just want to make sure. I do see Arthur Kettering on here, and he did call me earlier, and I just want to make sure he knows he needs to push *9 if he'd like to speak.
Arthur, is there anything you'd like to speak on? It's been a while. We haven't seen you for a long time, Arthur. Okay, we'll give him an opportunity if he needs to come back later. Next item, please.
And Jeffrey Chartagia just stuck his hand up, but I read his comment into the record. So do you want me just to move to the next item?
Next item, please.
Okay. So the next item is 8.1, the general manager's report.
Mr. Lee.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, and the public. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm very excited to be back in Sacramento after participating in the APTA's Rail Conference in San Diego at the beginning of the last week. And then I took a trip to visit Mexico City for a few days personally. In Mexico City, I was very impressed with the bus rapid transit network throughout the entire region of the city. As you can see, just one picture, dedicated and protected bus lanes utilizing 60 feet articulate double-decker buses in major streets and roads every couple minutes. And they were much faster than sitting in the traffic, very popular, and they carry lots of ridership, even during this pandemic time. Perhaps, in the near future, we can take a trip in the future to visit the network, which the BRT probably is one of the most impressive and successful BRT networks in North America. And there are lots of stuff we can learn, which is just right south of the border. But then speaking of the ridership, May this year was Sacarte's strongest month since the onset of the pandemic in early 2020. Last month, we carried nearly 1.1 million riders, marking the second time in the last 3 months that we have exceeded 1 million rides a month. Normally, we close to like 2 million ridership prior pandemic. Ridership has improved across both light rail and bus service last month, with light rail ridership increased by 12% and bus ridership increased by over 8% compared to April 2022. Then, as promised during our last board meeting, I would like to provide a quick update on the status of the approved safe parking program at our Roseville Road light rail station. Since our last meeting, SAC-RT and the City of Sac have been actively engaged, meeting on a weekly basis to coordinate in preparation for the launch. We're hopeful that Caltrans headquarters will sign off on the final leasing agreement this week, and we will immediately request approval from the FTA, which actually we have submitted requests to them much earlier in anticipation of the final agreement. When the FTA read Mayor Stenberg's post, the blog post regarding the safe parking program at the end of May, the White House director of OMB immediately reached out to FTA, and both FTA and the director of budget in White House are very excited about this project, and they promised us they're going to approve on our request ASAP. Additionally, following the our board adoption of the city's critical infrastructure ordinance, SACRT immediately began posting signage along our track and at our stations. So we are already, act ahead of the time. Another update is about FTA's triennial update. I'm very proud to report that SACRT successfully completed the 2022 FTA triennial review 2 weeks ago. We had a 3-day intensive review session with the FTA reviewers covering 23 areas. Also, prior to that, we had about 4 months extensive communication and preparation with FTA reviewers or auditors. We're very pleased that SACRT received great feedback from the reviewers and the FTA staff on our responsiveness, organization, and dedication to the process. Specifically, we received very high marks for the complete turnaround of our disadvantaged business enterprise, DBE, civic right, and the EEO programs. In all these 3 very difficult areas, reviewers did not notice any issues, which they told us that they always find some issues when they audit other peer agencies. And they said they can share our best practices with our peer agencies. The review required support and expertise from over 50 SACRT team members, day and night, and 7 days a week in the last couple months. And the monthly dedicated work hours to prepare and organize all the documents. I just want to recognize, Jamie Adman, Shelley Valentin, Corey Carter, our auditor, internal auditor, and Sarah Kerber, our senior manager of training. And collectively, they work with agency-wide staff and led a highly collaborative and managed FTA triennial review process. The successful review was a direct result of the hard work and preparation from every department at SACRT. Then SACRT's hard work was recently recognized by the APTA again, with us receiving not 1, but 2 first place 2022 Atwill Awards. The first award is for Best Marketing and Communication to support rideship in the partnership category for the contactless fare payment program. The second award is for Best Marketing and Communications to support rideship in the special event category for the Elgrove Ride-Free RT Ride-Along program. Congratulations to the marketing team, well done. Then as schools break for recession, I do want to remind everyone that youth in grades kindergarten through 12th can enjoy more freedom this summer to get to the jobs, shopping centers, restaurants, and more by taking advantage of SACRT's Ride-Free RT Fare-Free Transit program. With Ride-Free RT, students or youth can ride the entire SACRT transit network, including SACRT buses, light rail, and Smart Ride on-demand microtransit service for free all day, anytime during our regular service hours. Another update is about our bus stop improvement plan or survey. SACRT, in partnership with Civic Thread, a local nonprofit planning and advocacy organization, we're working on a bus stop improvement plan for the SACRT service area. We have over 4,000 bus stops, and it's time to improve that. The plan will create a comprehensive list of necessary and desired improvements to bus stops, amenities, and supporting pedestrian infrastructure. The community survey will remain open for response through Friday, June 17th. Feedback from our riders will help SACRT focus the plan on areas with the greatest needs. Then, as I shared during the previous meetings, SACRT continues to aggressively recruit for new team members in order to better address the workforce shortage. If you know someone who is looking for a career with an award-winning organization, then please let them know about our 2 in-person hiring events being held this month. We have dozens of career opportunities with excellent benefits, including medical, dental, paid sick leave, and retirement plans. And we're offering a 2,000 signing bonus for new bus drivers. Job seekers can choose from 2 different in-person hiring events that will be held in SACRT's auditorium at 1429th Street tomorrow, June 14th, and Wednesday, June 22nd. Again, we will make the on-site conditional job offers during the same day. Then, speaking of the great hiring, do you recognize this professional face? After many years of responding to his media requests, Mr. Tony B. Jack, a highly influential and retired SACB reporter in transportation and other issues, is now working with SACRT as a contract writer and a partner to help us get to the next level by sharing our stories locally and nationally. Very happy and proud to have Tony on board. Welcome. Let's change to the last 2 items. First is one of our recent stories, includes a unique partnership with Visit Sacramento and the world's strongest man organization to solidify Sacramento as a world destination, drawing thousands to our region. On May 29th, 30 strongman athletes tested their strength by pulling one of our new SACRT buses, which weighs approximately 40,000 pounds each. Our bus and the brand were televised around the world as athletes compete for the epic title of World's Strongest Man. While we're talking about the partnerships, I would like to share some photos. First, it's Assemblymember McCarthy honored SACRT for our community service during the pandemic. Second, it's SACRT's DBE and procurement team participating in events to help small business compete for SACRT's contracts. And third, SACRT's participation in the Elk Grove Regional Safety Day event. and also some fun social media photos. First, it's great to see those fine groom and groom men taking light rail to the wedding. Congratulations on the wonderful marriage. And with the hot summer days we have experienced, our bus driver had to stop for some refreshing lemonade in support of tomorrow's future business leaders. In closing my update, I just want to recognize the observance of Juneteenth next Sunday, June 19th, which is also known as Emancipation Day, or the Day of Freedom to commemorate the abolishment of slavery in the United States. Juneteenth is a time for celebration and reflection on past and current events in United States history. That concludes my report. Thank you. Get back to you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Henry. Are there any questions from the board or comments on the general manager's report? Well, let me say, Henry, that you've made a lot of very wise decisions since you have been general manager, and hiring Tony Bijak was nothing short of genius. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next item.
Did you want to take public comment on the general manager's report? There's a couple hands up.
Thank you, Tabitha. Yes, please.
Okay, so we have Glenn Mandelkorn.
Glenn?
I clicked in during section 6 and I wasn't called on. Should I say my piece now?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, so my thing here is about recruiting bus drivers. This is actually building on the my whole notion here is during my time away, I've actually been like Bobby Caldwell says, if you wonder where I've been actually looking at a lot of TLAs, 3-letter acronyms and 3-letter abbreviations that are related to SAC-RT. And the first one I want to bring to your attention is DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. I have found out that there is a DEI transit certificate being offered by University of the Pacific. So those of you involved with that, please check it out. My next TLA is about WSM, World's Strongest Man, who was just brought up. I've actually come up with 2 storyboards to help out with the bus driving recruiting effort. My first storyboard, real quickly, is when I saw the WSM, World's Strongest Man, I saw him pulling the bus, and then it occurred to me, well, if he wants to make the bus move, we are looking for drivers. I was wondering, would it be possible to maybe recruit the World's Strongest Man to say, well, maybe his dream is to drive a bus for SAC-RT, or maybe he can inspire, since we have such a large Ukrainian population here, maybe they'd be inspired to become SAC-RT bus drivers. My next storyboard with WSM is, well, I would say that WSM has the strength of 40 everyday people, like Sly and the Family Stone. I love everyday people. So we could get 40 everyday people to pull one bus, or we could get 40 everyday people to drive 40 buses. So my second storyboard is this notion of an ad that features 40 people of diverse backgrounds who will all become part of SAC-RT to encourage others. Another thing that I learned during my time away, you guys kind of touched on this now, was DBE. When it comes to making ads, my understanding is that things in SAC-RT can either be done in-house or through procurement bids. So is there some ad agency that can maybe bring 1 or 2 of these storyboards to life? I'm just throwing these ideas out for you to consider. And on top of all this, how can we make this Title VI compliant? So thank you very much for this time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments. Tabitha, next.
We have Jeffrey Tardagia.
Jeffrey.
Well, I hope you can hear me.
We can.
First, I want to thank Henry for the judicial use of the free passes. I'm hoping and I believe it's encouraging more people to ride on the bus, and we certainly need to utilize that. I want to thank him for that. What's been brought to me through other groups and organizations is that your general manager report is all oral. So the reality is you have to look at listening, reviewing on YouTube, or waiting for the next set of minutes to know what in the world is happening with the general manager's report. You have no clue about it reading the agenda. The third thing I'm going to bring is I am concerned since we've lost our chief financial officer, we've lost our chief planning officer, and we have also lost basically the chief, I'll say, operational. This is Dan Towle, that is in a sense been at the center of all of these particular programs of paratransit, of Go Transit, and other aspects through there. I'm a little concerned that once again, we're losing a lot of institutional knowledge that is very needed for the future. Also, I will remind and encourage directors, you should find out how many bus cancellations are affecting your particular regions and district. I got rather alarmed when I observed on a Friday over 100 bus trips being canceled. I have a second meeting, unfortunately, this Thursday. I also am co-chairing the PIT committee. So I'm going to be listening on one and participating, hopefully, on the other meeting. And I do hope that in the future, the other reports under general manager that, Budge and Hume put out, ones that they're not, Hume's not here, is that some type of synopsis highlights would be included, just saying you filed and turned a report and the difficulty of trying to get in there and read it to see what those reports actually say. And with that, I'm done.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And rest assured that as long as Jeffrey Tardagia is around, I don't think we're going to lose a lot of institutional memory. Tabitha, anybody else?
Arthur Kettering has his hand up.
Arthur, welcome back. Arthur, I think you're muted.
We can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yes, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, Arthur. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Council, for speaking with me. I am in an area right now where I don't know if it's too late to mention it at all, but where I live, with Smart Ride, for instance, that they can pick me up at the place of where I live at the moment, but they cannot take me of where I need to go. Let me explain what I mean. That they said that as far as the boundary goes, that they only can take me to one of the light rail stations to be connected of where I need to go, but it'd take almost all day to get where I want to go. And there's areas they said that they would take me if I'm at one of the light rails that they can't take me where I need to go as far as like if I wanted to go to certain places to Florin Road for number one, and number two, that there's an area that is a busy area on Florin over by Delta Shore area. You did have that area for a very, very short time. And when people was beginning to know about it, it was just continued. And you didn't give it a fair chance. And what I would like to know is that are you going to be able to go cross town to in order to go to these places for at least with Smart Ride? I'm in the South area, and myself, I don't know what jurisdiction I'm in at the moment, and I would like to find out who's in charge on that for Sacramento City.
All right, thank you, Arthur. Henry, will you please have staff follow up with Arthur and planning staff to get together with and hear his ideas?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Arthur. Anybody else?
That's it. No more hands are up.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, this is Linda. Can I comment?
you absolutely can comment.
Okay. So what I noticed this time is that the reports that Patrick and I submitted for our special separate meetings are under the general manager's report as opposed to under item 9, reports, ideas, and questions from directors and communications. And when they were under item 9, then the full report was attached. And that would eliminate, who was it? Jeffrey's concern.
Right.
So
You're absolutely correct.
yeah, so if we go back to that formatting, then the reports will be there.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Linda. Henry, you got that?
Absolutely. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
Okay. That's okay.
And I apologize too. That was
Yeah, no.
how I was
No.
trained.
I was going to ask you about it later, Tabitha.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you, Director Budge.
Yes.
Great comment. Anybody else? All right, next item.
The next item is number 9, reports, ideas, and questions from directors, if any.
Do you see any hands raised?
I do not see any hands raised.
And then the next item.
And the next item is closed session item 13.1, public employee performance evaluation pursuant to government code section 54957. And the title is general manager / CEO.
And are you sending something out, or do we need to come back to another?
So do you anticipate having to report after closed session?
No.
So if you don't anticipate, then we can adjourn this meeting, and at this time we can adjourn this meeting, and then the open session webinar will end, and all that will be attending the closed session meeting can join the meeting using the link that was provided.
So just stay on.
Actually, no, there's a different link that was provided. I can re-email it out really quick if you don't have it. But we do need to take public comment really quick before we leave.
Okay, is there public comment?
Jeffrey Tartagia has his hand up.
Jeffrey.
Again, I will offer my concern, since you have no report back, is when it will be announced what comes out of closed sessions. I note in the last year, very little has ever come out of closed sessions. And maybe you need to figure out a better line item on the agenda that will post, from last closed session, these things were determined. This was the report out. Since you're again saying you're not going to have it out today. I just encourage you to come up with a better format of what comes out of closed sessions. I would encourage that, RT board. I know you've got a lot of board meetings, but I participate with other organizations of trust of other writer groups, and this is one of the few that it's only public representation on. So I just would like to encourage you to do better for the public when you have other items going on of how you report them back out. Thank you.
Fair enough, Jeffrey. And let me say that, we're not going to report out on this particular one at this particular moment. But Mr. Lee, if we could agendize for our next meeting a report out on this item when we've had an opportunity to digest it and have the full discussion. I think that the evaluation is something that should be very public, very transparent. I agree with you, Jeffrey, and we will put that on a future agenda item.
And I'm going to say that I disagree. It's a personnel matter.
Yeah,
If there's a new contract for Henry, that's public information. I don't want to have a detailed discussion of however many board members we have, but who said what about what. It's not appropriate.
I didn't. Thank you very much, Director Howell. I didn't mean to say who said what about what, but I do think that the public does deserve to know whether the board supports our general manager or not. I think this is a no-brainer, an easy one. So I appreciate that and ask that you indulge me. And let's have an opportunity to tell the public what we think about our general manager. I hear what you're saying completely. I think that this is important in order to maintain the trust in the organization. So with that, Tabitha, I believe then we will adjourn and everybody has the information on where to go for closed session.
No, and Arthur Kettering has his hand back up for
Arthur. Now, don't make me sorry for welcoming you back. Arthur, go ahead. Arthur, are you there?
Yes, Council. This is Arthur Kitterling. I was just wanting to find out if they needed my phone number in order to get in touch with me. Because you said you was going to get in touch.
My guess is Arthur, that somebody around RT has your phone number and we'll get in touch with you.
Okay, all right, and I do thank you very much for coming back. And just one quick question: in September, when you do your changes, is 84 one of them that's on the list?
I don't know, Arthur. We'll add that to your list of agenda items.
Okay, all right then. Thank you, Council, very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Is that it, Tabitha?
And you have a good evening.
You too, Arthur. Thank you.
Have a good evening. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Tabitha?
That is it.
Okay, then we will adjourn this meeting of the Board of Directors and we will go into closed session. And I believe that we all have the information on how to get there. So thank you very much and good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.